Voltron Network.
What's good, guys? Welcome back to Talking at the Movies. I'm Idris Antonio.
And it's Mo.
What's happening, Mo?
Man, I'll tell you what, like, I was going to say winter is truly here, but it's not, because it's actually like fucking like a spring day outside still. But, you know, like it's like dark by 4 o'clock and it comes on
and it's pissing down with rain.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Saturday. Man, that was just like rain.
I kind of like it though, I ain't gonna lie. I like this chilling and relaxing when it's pissing with rain.
Yeah, but there is times where you need to go out to like do like shopping and stuff, right? And luckily, I think the first time in my life, you know, when it's been raining heavily, I've managed to time it, you know, when it stops. And normally what happens is you go out, you go more than halfway, so it'd take you longer to turn back than it would to keep on going, and you get rained on. I managed to like go out, do my stuff, come back, and the minute I got home, the heavens just opened.
I love that feeling. It makes you feel like someone's watching out for you. Like, yeah, you were buddies. Yeah, take care of me.
Yeah. And then I this weekend, man, I like, you know what? I was like, that's great. It's been months. I think it must have been since like you guys come around. I haven't cooked like a chicken palau, so I did that this weekend, and it was just, oh.
I missed the cooking. So, Mo, what have you been watching this week?
What have I been watching this week, right? So I finished off The Queen's Gambit. I won't go too much on about that because we did talk about that previously. But again, I will reiterate.
Don't not go into that.
I will say this is if I was to rate this series, 4.5 without a question. I
said last week I was going to get into it. I haven't had a chance, but I will this week.
Yep.
Hold me to it.
Yes, absolutely. I want to have an in-depth discussion on like the chess techniques used by the main character. I completely forgot her name now, because obviously I've moved on to the next show. So this week I've actually watched season 2, a follow-up to It's the End of the Effing World. So it's come onto Netflix now. So there was season 1, I think, last year or the year before. It's been a long time.
Was that the one with the 2 kids?
That's the one with the 2 kids.
And the boy might be like a psychopath or something.
It's not a psychopath, but they do go on a journey where there is some. No. You're thinking of something else. You're thinking of Wayne.
No. It was. I heard that the guy was saying there was something.
No. He's not a psycho, but like they do go off on a kind of journey where some psychopathic stuff kind of does happen. But this is kind of like the follow up to that. And the very first thing is at the end of the season, the first series, it's like quite a finite ending, and you're kind of thinking, oh, like if they don't ever come back, it's like a done story. But they come back, and it's quite dark this season. It basically deals with the ramifications of like, well, if you're going to go off and do like whatever you please, these are the kind of consequences. And I like how they weave a whole new character into the narrative that's part of season 1, but was never actually in season 1.
Huh. Was this a BBC show?
No, I think it's a Channel 4
Channel
show.
4. Okay, yeah. So does it hold up though? Because I know you're really high in the first season.
First season was good. I don't think this was as good because this one, like I said, it was like really dark. They weren't like just going for the fun stuff, but it was you know, like they're 20-minute episodes, and there's only like 7 of them. Oh. So it's like almost watching just a long film.
Yeah.
Watch. And then last night I thought, you know what, I need to start catching up on like 2020 films. So I decided my first 2020 catch-up movie was going to be Russell Crowe in Unhinged.
Oh, that's the one where he's like a lunatic in the car, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah. So he's basically playing himself.
One instant, he throws one fold at one assistant, and he can never live it down.
I think it was more than that. Isn't he got a reputation for like just being a diva and destroying hotel rooms and?
I think that was around the Gladiator time, but I haven't heard anything for like at least 10 years or so. He seems to be a good boy.
And I don't know if he's just put on a load of weight or if he's just got a gut for this film. But he still looks like a huge guy who's intimidating. And I guess he's not opponent, but the person he's chasing down is a dainty, small female, which makes him look even bigger, right? Mm-hmm. And I've got to say, it's an entertaining film, right? But it's one of those sort of films that is so forgettable that like this time last year, you won't even remember it.
Would this have been in a normal movie cycle with cinemas open? Would this have been just a VOD?
It would have, no,
video?
Yeah, no, it would have gone cinema, but it would have just come and gone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This is a sort of film that it will probably pop up on Netflix or Amazon, and that's where the majority of people watch it. Like I said, there is some good stuff, like the directing. There are moments where they have like car impacts, and you're like, whoa, like you didn't expect to see that coming. So there is that kind of stuff, but in my mind, like this guy is such a psycho. He goes on like this rampage, and you're kind of thinking, in the real world, after one of those rampages, the whole police force would have been out in force to like shut you down. But this guy's going like all over town, like causing trouble.
It looked kind of fun in the trailer, so I might give it a look.
Well, like I said, it's like an okay film, but it is just so forgettable.
Yeah.
But Russell Crowe, again, like he plays the role so well, and then you know, because you're wondering, is that really him?
Anything else?
And then it's just our usual stuff. And obviously we've got a new section revisiting.
Does it hold up? We're gonna get into that. We're gonna be looking at Forrest Gump, because last week we were talking about, well, it mentioned it came up in conversation, and I was convinced that, you know, this movie it's not as good as we remember it being. So we're going to discuss whether that is truly the case, whether Mo's rose-tinted glasses truly blinded him for life. So as far as what I've been watching, I don't think I've been watching anything besides all the stuff we have to watch. Always Sunny again. I don't know why, but it's popped up again. But yeah, I don't think anything original. Just been watching people unbox their PS5s with envy.
Oh, actually, yeah, I have watched a lot of that, but I did come across, like, I don't know, last night I was just browsing YouTube, like on my telly, and I came across like some really weird, like old videos, like about a year old or something, of sports that I've never heard of. Have you ever heard of tech ball?
Tech ball?
Right, imagine playing table tennis, but with a football in teams of 2.
What?
Imagine how difficult it would be to play table tennis with a football. But I was watching like the grand world finals last night.
And you're kicking, though, instead of...
You're kicking. Oh, yeah, you're not allowed to use your hands. It is like football rules. Like you've got like on your chest, on your head, off your knee.
That is nuts.
That is nuts. Nice. But I was watching it and I was like, wow, this is like some truly skillful like play here, because you got like the area is so small on those tables, and you've got to like, and it is the exact same rules. You've got to bounce it off the table for it to count as a point.
How do you stumble across that rabbit hole? Like,
just Google it. It was just it was in my recommended. It's TEQBAL. Just even if it's like a 5-minute, like, what is this? And then the other thing that popped up was female rock wall climbing.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
And that was quite an interesting thing, because they like all the athletes are in such tremendous shape, but actually seeing them like scale that massive wall in like 10 seconds,
crazy.
Like spiders. Yeah, and one mistake and you kind of like you lose. I've actually got one more thing. Actually, I did check out because you were raving about it, the first episode of The Barbarians.
Okay.
So that is something I will watch it, actually, because it was just like on Saturday afternoon. I just had like I think I'd come back from shopping as a cup of tea. I thought, let's try it out. And it was good. I did like it. I think is it Thunsdale or whatever her name is? The main
the female barbarian.
Yeah,
she's cool.
I think she might become a fan favorite.
Yeah, she is cool. I like her. She was very cool. Owe you an apology over that. You were right. Romans did not speak Italian. They spoke Latin.
Ah, all right, there we go.
Yes, so the precursor.
See, I earned that moniker, Knowledgeable Mo.
I'm man enough to admit.
Although it is quite cool, actually. I think it's the first time I've seen where the whole show, they actually speak 2 different languages. Yeah. And there's none of this like magic, I can suddenly understand what you're saying type thing. Yeah,
sometimes they phase it out, in certain films or shows. They speak whatever language at the beginning and suddenly English with an accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind. But yeah, it's a shame though, because the amount of people that will dismiss this show because it is foreign language.
Oh yeah, you will absolutely get that. But you know, I mean, what can you do about these heathens? There's a whole world out there.
Yeah, you can't close your mind, guys. You've got to soak it in. But shall we get into our big reviews this week?
Let's go. We're gonna go Discovery, Mandalorian.
Let's get into Mandy first. Mandalorian. episode 3
3
of this season 2.
of season 2.
I had fun with this one.
This one was a lot better. This one actually felt like a Star Wars thing, right? Because it actually had like all the familiar
Empire.
like uniforms and ships and stuff like that. So this was a lot more enjoyable to watch.
And it continued directly from last week, so it kind of made it feel like it was a proper show now, not just its own little adventure of the week.
It did, but, and I don't know if we're going back to like the simplicity, but do you not just find Mando just seems to like fall into any trap that's laid for him?
But that's kind of what you want. Oh, the show would be boring if he didn't.
Yeah, no, but when the guy goes, "I'm going to wind this thing in this ship in the middle of the ocean. Why don't you have a look at this?" And you've got the baby just clearly standing out
that
there.
was a bit dumb. Yeah, bring the kid along. He might want to see this too. Okay. Yeah, it was a bit gullible for that. Even I could see that one coming.
Yeah, it's So there is stuff like, and the previous episode, he meets some guy like he's never met before for information, and the guy just betrays him, and you're kind of like, well, this bounty hunter's rubbish. Can't read the room at all.
Maybe he's just been detached from the rest of the Mandalorians for so long, man. He's just lost his touch. Yeah.
So I like the way that they're setting up that there might be there might be like different sects between the Mandalorians. Like some of them have like this whole don't remove the helmet type thing.
She's called Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah, Kate Sackhoff.
Reprising her role of a character that she plays in the Clone Wars.
Oh, right. Did not know that.
She voiced the character. Same look as it is in the show, but the hair's a little longer. But yeah, they just cast her. Why not? You might as well do it. You're the voice of it. It still look cool. So I like that consistency there, bringing it all together.
Did not know that. That actually is a very, very cool piece of casting then.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I like those. I like those Mandalorians. They're cool. Oh, and Sasha Banks, wrestler. Sorry, the other chick.
Oh, is that the other chick? I have no idea who that is.
Yeah.
I was going to say, have you seen Katie Sackhoff's YouTube channel?
No.
She's obviously got a channel, right? And she's got a video on there where she goes through what she does to get in shape for a TV role.
Mm-hmm.
Holy fuck, you watch that and you're like, right, okay, I never want to like have to like be in TV or anything, because like I swear to God, like if you ever to get into a fist fight with Katie Sackhoff, she will beat the shit out of you. That she's like one tough chick.
That's what I like to hear. I like women like taking care of themselves. Yeah. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. The Mandalorians were cool. Our Mandalorian kind of seemed that he was getting outclassed for a lot of it until he decided to be a bullet magnet at the end of it.
Yeah, I do wonder how inconsistent that that thing is going to be at the end, right? Because this seemed like he could take a pounding with his suit with laser blasts.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like in episodes down the line, it's going to, oh no, can't do that.
Yeah. It does lessen the stakes a little bit if he is completely bulletproof like that.
Yeah.
But,
well, I guess the armor, I guess they are lasers, right? So technically, it actually makes sense that you could produce armor that could either absorb it or deflect it.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed. I had a lot of fun with this one. Hopefully, they'll just maintain this and be more continuous off of the last. But be interesting to see what happens with these Mandalorians later on in the season, whether they'll be his allies. But it kind of seemed like they could be opposing him down the road, because I couldn't trust them a lot. You get that sense that
you get that kind of sense, but then you kind of feel has Mando not been lied to, but literally has he been indoctrinated into like some sort of cult, which has like all these strict rules, like you can never take your mask off, and the other ones are like, what?
Yeah, sure, take it off, man.
Take it off, don't worry. So I guess we're going to see, potentially Rosario Dawson's character next week.
Yeah, Ahsoka. Well, you really reckon he's going to get there by next week?
Well, as I was saying it, I was thinking, they're going to drag that out for an episode or two.
Yeah, we'll go to another planet. Some people need help. He'll help them, and then it will. Yeah. Well, I cannot wait for Ahsoka to turn up, man. I'm curious to see how they're gonna do that.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how they do the whole CGI with their head and stuff.
I think they'll do it practical.
You reckon? But they won't just look really fake practical.
No, but there were people like extras with that in the films, and they look good. And it was latex.
It was, but it looked very latex though, didn't it? It's a very odd thing to see like popping off of people's heads.
Nah, it'd be too.
Yeah,
I know. I was about to say it'd be too expensive, but it's Disney. They can spend as much as they want. But Yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll see. Sure, there'll be a behind the scenes of it all.
Yeah,
Thumbs
but
up.
this one, this was much improved over the first 2 episodes.
Very much.
Yeah.
So, Discovery. Gotta say, this is probably my least favorite out of all of this season.
I will say, so I would rate this episode in 2 halves. Like the first half I thought was very good. Like all the stuff at Starfleet with the interrogations and all the fantastic CGI and stuff. The second half with the Seed ship was almost like a mediocre Next Generation episode.
Filler episode, yeah, one of those.
It's like if they wanted to give him an away mission, they could have come up with something like a lot more interesting. Like that, all the stuff on the Seed ship was just boring as fuck.
Yeah.
And
we got
the resolution.
We got rid of that chick with the security chick. And I thought she was cool.
It's not even got rid of. She's basically made the decision she's going to stay on that ship by herself, which also makes no sense. Your Seed Vault is literally just going around the galaxy like with no support.
Yeah.
Like, it's the place where you've got like samples of like everything.
Just
yeah,
pointless. Did not like that.
If they hadn't gone looking for it, it would have ended up having a plasma storm and probably destroyed.
Yeah.
But I love the stuff with like David Cronenberg.
Yeah, who's that?
Where he's talking, where they're obviously having that conversation with like Michelle Yeoh. They obviously seem to be setting something up there. So I was wondering at the end, have they altered her DNA, or is she now some sort of like hologram? Because she was just standing there staring into nothing, like, and Michael had to keep going. Is everything okay? Is everything okay?
Yeah. I never really put that much thought into it, but you're right. Yeah. Something's definitely up there.
Something's definitely up with those two. Those two are definitely going to be doing something.
I'm surprised Cronenberg was in this. This is a guy that just dismisses everything, that hates everything.
Yeah. He must be a Star Trek fan.
But why? What makes Star Trek above everything else that he shits on? Anything modern, he just always shits on it. But he's willing to do this.
Probably like Star Trek. He's probably just a big fan of Star Trek in general.
Okay.
I thought, I get an opportunity to be in it. You got to wonder, like, obviously the fact that he's a big time director, like, how often are they going to be able to bring that character back? Because it certainly wasn't a one-off type character, right? There's definitely something mysterious about him.
Yeah, it's true. We'll see. But there were moments, but overall, not the best.
Like I said, half and half.
Yeah.
Half good, half just could have come up with something better.
So I don't think there were a lot of trailers this week. One that sticks out to me.
I don't think I saw any trailers this week.
You didn't see the Fresh Prince trailer?
Oh, I did. Oh, actually, I did watch that. Yeah. But I didn't put it in the list because I just expected to, what the hell is this? And to be fair, I also thought, what the hell is this?
It is like, it's just a reunion. Basically, what everyone's been doing on YouTube, they decided to do in person, like through social distancing. But the one surprise I did like, the original Aunt Viv at the end.
Oh, right. I didn't watch it all the way to the end.
Yeah, he said, they're all sitting there reminiscing. They said, this wouldn't be a true reunion if we didn't bring back whatever her name is, the original Aunt Viv. Then she walks in. And that's a big deal because for years, the reason why she left the show is because her and Will Smith always had problems.
Was it tension?
Yeah, she's always been cussing him in the press. Whenever she was asked about it, she was like, he's a prima donna, he was all this, he was all that. So I guess they buried it, man, and that should be interesting.
I did not know that. I didn't know that's why she left.
Yeah. So
it's you know what's amazing is like Will Smith and Alfonso, whatever his name is, don't look that old, but everyone else seems to have really aged.
Yeah, the kids all grown up, the older guys are older. But then again, Will is cheating, and I guess Alfonso as well, because have you ever come across any of his pictures on Insta or whatever when he's just regular in between films? His hair is white completely. His beard, his hair on top of his head, completely white.
Yeah.
So he's just cheating by colouring it in and looking like he's
younger. I mean, like colouring your hair is one thing, but like it's the skin and stuff just doesn't look old and wrinkly and stuff, does it?
It's just all those baby sacrifices, man. the bathing in the blood just helps tighten the skin.
It's they also went through the expense of rebuilding the set of the I guess the main living room, right?
Had to have, because I'm thinking there is no way this was just sitting in a warehouse somewhere. Like Damn.
And at that point, you're kind of thinking, well, instead of doing a reunion episode, why not do an actual reunion episode? Like, wouldn't it be so much better just to see an actual episode
An hour
of
long.
like the Fresh Prince rather than like them sitting around talking? Because I'll be honest, I've got no interest in watching this.
I only want to watch the bit at the end of the ad-lib, but yeah, you're right. Could have been, but then they've got the whole gritty reboot coming.
There is that, but like HBO seem to be doing a few of these because they've also doing a Friends one, which they've now said won't happen till like next March because of the pandemic.
Yeah. The Saved by the Bell one, was there a trailer for that? Did you watch it?
There was a trailer a couple of weeks ago. The only reason I didn't put it in the trailer list because I tried to add a Saved by the Bell one a few months ago, and you go, I'm not watching a Saved by the Bell trailer.
I didn't want to. I just wanted you to give me your.
It's weird looking, right? Because it looks so slick and expensive compared to like the original, and it's difficult to tell, but it looks like there's no laughter track as well. So I'm so used to watching those particular faces with a laughter track that it's really difficult to adjust to the fact that it's not. And I don't know if you've ever watched any of the, I think like season 7 or 8 of Red Dwarf. On the DVD, there's an option to watch without the laughter track, and oh my god, it's surreal. It's so weird.
You can't adjust. If you start a show with one or the other, you have to stick with it because you switch it just completely changes the tone.
But I will be watching at least the pilot episode just to see what it's like.
Is Screech back again?
He, I think, is the only one that hasn't been in the trailer, and I think they all had a massive falling out with him.
Yeah, but it's not. They bullied him. They took the piss out of him. They belittled him. They isolated him from their group because they all got on and hung out together, and they wouldn't let him hang out with them. So it's like,
is that what actually happened?
That was what I've always heard.
Yeah, heard from him or heard from the rest of the gang?
Him, and there was what station was it in the States? They did like a dramatized version of Saved by the Bell, but behind the scenes of how everyone carried on back in the day.
Really?
Yeah, it was like with all actors playing the parts. This was a couple of years ago. I forget what it was called, but look it up. They done it with a bunch of like musical artists, obviously.
I'm just looking this up now. Dramatized Saved by the Bell.
Yes. Here we
go. Saved by the Bell behind the scenes drama to be that's 2014 to be the subject of a Lifetime movie.
Yeah, that was it. That one. They did it.
I might have to go and look this up now. I'm really interested in watching this.
I'm saying it's good.
It's a Lifetime film, right? There's an expectation of like what they're like. So I'm gonna have to look that up.
So, should we get into the news?
Let's get to the news. What point do you want to do Forrest Gump?
Oh, we do it after.
Right. Okay.
So, first one. We didn't get into this when we did our breakdown from our first sneak peek. How do we describe it? Our friend of the show that got to see an early cut of No Time to Die. We didn't get into this whole talk of who was going to pick up the mantle down the road, supposedly. It's not really confirmed yet, but Lashana Lynch is claiming that she is going to be the next 007.
So,
trolling?
Well, hold on. So we need to clarify something, right? So and I guess I'm asking the question because I don't know. Being 007 doesn't necessarily mean you're James Bond.
Well, obviously not James Bond because James Bond exists.
Yeah.
And whatever happens to him, whether he retires or dies.
Yeah.
But 007 is a moniker that's.
Yeah.
That they.
I think there's more to this that we're not understanding because haven't the Broccolis already come out and said like they do not see James Bond being a woman?
They have. At some points in the past. Who knows?
Well, it's not. Well, not even in the past. I think it's actually like been really recently, like this year.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think there is more to this. Or unless it's like a thing they're going to do in the next film, which actually doesn't make sense because the next film Daniel Craig's not going to be in it.
Yeah. So I reckon it's just in this. I reckon something happens to him. We don't know. Even our inside man, he didn't want to tell us any spoilers, which is good. But something happens to him, retires or dies, whatever it is. And in that film, maybe she's elevated to that moniker of 007.
Right.
But that doesn't necessarily. No, but that doesn't mean that from now on that's going to be her. They're probably just
Yeah.
going to start again and like they always do. Soft reboot.
Well, unless they carry that over to the next film and she dies, and then we see because we've never seen how 1007 goes from one person to another, and then the new Bond takes over.
But we'll see that in this one though. That's what I mean. For her to become 007. I mean,
But yeah, hold on. But then she's just like spoiling the film by saying James Bond dies and I take over.
I don't know if he dies. He might just fall in love and retire.
Uh, yeah, I think there's a little bit more to this than that.
Killing her off at the beginning of the next film is going to cause so much heat. Where they say, "Oh, we finally got a woman, or we finally got someone of a different ethnicity," and you just kill them off in the first 5 minutes. They can't.
Yeah, it'll be like a secret coded worded like message to like the world's population.
That'd be fucked up if they did that. If it ended up being true, that would be a lot of people going to hate that. Because they want their James Bond. They want James Bond. They want that character.
Yeah, like I said, I think the Broccolis have even come out and said no. So unless they're doing like some trolling, I think this is either meaningless or it means something totally different from how we're understanding it.
Yeah, I think so too. I do.
Yeah.
David Lynch or David Fincher. Sorry. Signs a 4-year exclusive deal with Netflix. 4 fucking years.
This is the guy who's too busy to come back to finish off Mindhunter, right?
Yeah, he's already been working with them. He's got a pre-existing relationship. One of the greatest directors. Social Network was a feature movie.
Well, hasn't he just done Mank?
Yeah, Mank. Netflix. That's another Netflix one.
Maybe he just likes working there and the freedom that he gets.
Yeah, he knows he's got a guaranteed audience.
Yeah, because I think from what I understand, like the mentality at working for Netflix seems to be very different from a studio, because studios can be very hands-on, very sort of interfering. Whereas I think you get told from Netflix, or people have done productions there, they're not really like that.
Yeah. I think you're better off doing films at Netflix than doing a series, because series don't last. No,
but the Netflix movies have a reputation for not being great, and they've
done plenty of great movies.
Ooh, they've done some good movies. I can't say they've done it. I mean, and you've got to qualify when you say a great film, because they might be a distributor for a film, but they might not necessarily have made the film.
It still counts. They decided to buy it.
The Irishman, like they didn't make that; they just distributed it, right?
They could have easily just given in the money. Well, it's theirs. They own it. Whatever. But I'm happy because it means we're going to get quality shit. I like whatever Fincher does.
How much do you think he can ram out in 4 years? Isn't that like for most directors who work consistently, like 2 films or something?
Yeah. But,
Didn't he also do House of Cards? Is David Fincher that House of Cards? So he's been there since the beginning then, really.
And that was their big first hit. That was really what got... That wasn't even their first show. I think they had a one before that, but it just didn't get any waves. Yeah, House of Cards was what really made them. So I'm not surprised that they're bending over backwards.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I haven't seen Mindhunter, but I know people absolutely revere that show. Why
have you not watched it, Mo? You keep jumping on these other pointless shows.
Seems like a very talky show.
Carl, so you just turn into silent now. You just want.
No. I'm doing you now. I'm saving the really good stuff for like when there's nothing to watch.
You bollocks. Oh, but Fincher's also gone on separately from all of this to slate the Joker as a betrayal of the mentally ill, and this kind of goes.
I know nothing about this. So what's the context of this? Is he basically saying that the movie Joker belittles mental health and is just using that as a way of glorifying violence and making money?
Exactly. There you go. He summed it up perfectly. And this kind of goes back to what we were saying last week, was why I said that Forrest Gump couldn't get made now, because people are so sensitive to when it comes to all of these, to disabilities and mental illness, that it's ridiculous, because it's dumb even for him to say that, because he did Fight Club and that was about mental illness. A man who sees an imaginary friend that tells him to do shit, and it doesn't even end with a way of him addressing his mental illness, unless you include shooting yourself in the fucking mouth as the way to get rid of your voices.
I think if you look at like some of the top movies of like the last 30 odd years, like a lot of them probably have a character that is probably of some form mentally ill, right? Especially if you look at Scorsese's work, right? What's the one that this Joker is based on?
Taxi Driver.
No, not Taxi Driver. Oh, Taxi Driver.
Yeah, Taxi Driver
Mentally ill.
and
The
King of Comedy.
King of Comedy. Yeah.
Both of them. He mentions those as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, those mentally ill characters, right?
Yeah.
Essentially.
But for whatever reason, he reckons that even though the Joker's inspired by them, the way the Joker handles it belittles it and doesn't address that. But like I say, I think it does a better job at that.
Yeah.
Even though I prefer Fight Club as a movie, I love Fight Club. But
I don't think it does belittle mentally ill people, because it doesn't make he doesn't become like a psychopath overnight, or he doesn't just go around with a machete just rampaging and killing. There is like a whole build up to his story.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, he does end up in the facility at the end.
Yeah,
possibly escaping though when we see the bloody footprints. More than what happens in fucking Fight Club.
Yeah, American Psycho, I'm sure, mentally ill again, right?
Yep, definitely. Yep. So yeah, pot calling the kettle black in my opinion, but still love Fincher. Look forward to whatever he does, but yeah, don't agree with him on this one. You want to get into the next one?
Disney Plus resurrects Black Beauty with Kate Winslet and Mackenzie Foy.
Yeah, so, as a film.
As a film, not a show.
No, not a show.
Because wasn't it a show before?
It was. Many shows over here in the UK. I hated it. I absolutely. Although, having said that, I couldn't hum it, but I can remember the theme tune. Yeah, even that makes me feel depressed. It always told me whenever I heard that it's a Sunday afternoon, nothing on TV to watch, and I have to go to school the next day on Monday.
I guess I can see how this would appeal to kids. A horse.
Do you think this could begin a resurgence in those animal companion TV shows?
Oh yeah, for kids, absolutely, right?
There was Lassie.
There was
Littlest Hobo. There was Gentle Ben, one which I watched a lot with the bear.
The dolphin one, Flipper.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a kangaroo one, which I can't remember what it's called.
Kangaroo Jack?
Might be it. Something like that. But you think this could be
hold on, no. Was it Zippy the kangaroo?
I think that was it. So what could this end up being? Or could have this whole shared universe of all these sentient animals?
An Avengers style cinematic universe.
They all join together, and we find out the true backstory of all these animals is that they have the souls of human beings trapped inside them. That's why they're always trying to rescue people, and they can empathize with human beings because they are.
I don't think it's Zippy the kangaroo, because I've just googled that, and that's like some sort of like mascot.
Okay.
So they were a live action. Can you imagine them all getting together to like take on a Thanos type character?
Yeah, it'd be amazing. Be like a company that tests products on animals, and they have to bring them down.
I'll say they probably won't get into that. I'd imagine there'll be like a licensing right problems with all of these things.
Oh, these are dead properties, man. I don't think anyone will stand in the way. But Scorpion King is coming back.
Being rebooted by. Yeah. So is it actually reboot, or is it a continuation if The Rock is in it?
It has to be a reboot, because there was already how many? There's like 4 Scorpion King movies.
4. Yeah. I remember. So do you remember watching The Mummy 2? Yeah. Is it The Mummy 2?
Yeah.
Is it the Mummy 2, The Scorpion King?
Yeah.
Do you remember the advertising campaign that they ran about the Scorpion King? And he was in it for like 2 minutes.
Yeah. But he was he wasn't the cool. The flashback at the beginning was cool.
Yeah.
But then you had the shitty sci-fi version of him, half Scorpion, which everyone.
I'm sure I've seen the first Scorpion King movie, but I remember nothing about it. Nothing at all.
Don't even remember Kelly Who?
No.
Don't say who. I thought you were going to do that joke. There you go. You don't remember Kelly Who? Jeez.
I do not. No. Even though I have a picture of her with me, arm around her.
As do I.
Do not remember.
Do
not remember.
But yeah, there was a prequel movie, and there was 1 or 2 other sequel movies to it. So yeah, it's gonna have to be a reboot. But then again, they could probably do their own continuation. Who the hell saw those?
I gotta
sequels?
imagine that. Oh, no, so not imagine. I can't imagine out of all the properties that they've got at Universal, this is the one that they go, yep, we're going to resurrect this. A movie that didn't even do well to begin with.
Yeah, but those epics, those sort of period epics, there aren't many being made right now, so it is a hole in there.
Wouldn't you go more for like? I know they've just done a Mummy movie with Tom Cruise, but it was tonally very different
and it
from like the Brandon Fraser Mummy.
It's not a period epic. And I love period epics. I love movies.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is that's what the Brandon Fraser films were, right? They were like period films.
Yeah, and they were like 20 years ago. So why not build?
Why not do another one of those or a reboot?
But it's very different now about someone discovering tombs opposed to someone who was the one who built the tombs in the first place. Like you can tell a whole other bigger Clash of the Titans type of story with that shit.
Do you think this is more of a Dwayne Johnson now has a lot more clout and wants to just go and do a movie where he has clout and can do what he wants?
Of course. And I wouldn't be surprised if this was influenced off of what he's doing with Black Adam, because that guy was an ancient Egyptian something or other.
I can't. That Black Adam movie, right? The fact that you've got the world's biggest star attached to it and it's been in like limbo for like 5 years or whatever.
It's supposed to be shooting next year.
So 6 years in limbo then.
Supposed to. But yeah, I prefer if Rock wasn't in it. Or if he just said he's producing it, then I could live with. But if he's got to be the star, then yeah, whatever.
So George Lucas reveals his Star Wars sequel trilogy would have focused on Leia and brought back Darth Maul.
Yeah. Apparently, Leia would be the one running everything. The new sort of whatever the new Republic is.
Kind of makes sense.
Luke would be off trying to rebuild the Jedi Temple.
Makes sense.
Find new Jedis. And Darth Maul would have an apprentice, which is the same breed of alien. Darth Talon, her name is. She's in the comics, the original extended universe that they annexed.
Yeah.
But she's the same breed of alien of what Ahsoka is, except she's red.
Oh, right.
Red skin, the same thing.
I mean, it makes total sense to bring Darth Maul back, right? Because he was the marketing face of that Phantom Menace, and he was incredibly popular. And I think there was such disappointment that, like, not only he did nothing, but he was in the film for like all of 11 minutes.
Exactly.
Like, if you go back and watch like the trailers, the marketing, the toys, all built around him.
Yeah. And everyone loved Darth Maul, even when they brought him back in Clone Wars. So it would have been fun. And apparently she would have done most of like the action. I think Darth would have just been like sitting in the temple somewhere.
You know, like how Disney are handing out Star Wars trilogy like prizes.
Yeah.
Do you think like if George Lucas was to step up and say, "I'd like one more stab," do you think they'd give him a go?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I guess because of the failure, maybe. But then Kathleen, no, she's the one to blame for all of this. They could have gone with this. They had all of these. He gave them all of this material.
Yep.
But they decided, nah, we're good, George. You go home and take care of your cats or whatever the fuck you're doing. And they thought they knew better. But then even the guy who wrote, the main writer of The Force Awakens, apparently even he had a trilogy plan that they didn't stick to. So he had his first film, and then they just decided to go somewhere else.
Yeah, so The Force Awakens was written by Lawrence Kasdan, I think his son. And Lawrence Kasdan wrote or co-wrote, I think, either Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi. Yeah. So I think he was going off to do. Did he write? I think Han Solo. I think he did the Han Solo film with his son, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. Even though it's still pretty vague, the outline, it still would have been better than what we got.
Well, I mean, people always want to see more Darth Maul, right?
Exactly. And we could have got more if people supported Solo, which I still say wasn't that bad a film.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
Hopefully, I do wonder if they'll still, even if they abandoning that particular series, whether they will keep the bit about Darth Maul. Because that was, let's face it, that was like really, like as soon as you saw that, you're like, hold on, now you've got my attention.
I feel like people have gotten there's more and more love for Solo as the years go by. Like when I just
wouldn't
look around
surprise me.
online, the people who say they love it and they enjoyed it and they want a sequel to it, it's really. I think even the director came out and said thank you for all the people that keep getting in contact with me talking about sequel and all of that. So it's like one of those.
Ron Howard.
Yeah, it's one of those the ball's rolling. People seem to be really getting into it.
It's not a bad film at all.
Keeping you up more?
You are indeed, man.
God, come on, man. It's still early. So mini news, or shall we get into does it hold up? No, we'll say that together.
Yeah. Should we break it up?
You want to do it now? All right.
Should we do that?
So last week we got into a discussion mainly about does an actor of a particular ability, race, sexuality, or disability have to have that ability in order to play a role? And I was saying that I didn't think that Forrest Gump could get made now because of the mental disability that Tom Hanks plays in this and a couple of other characters in the film. Plus, I was saying that I didn't think it held up. And I was wrong about that. I still think it's a damn good film. Still a damn good film.
Mate, I
stand corrected.
I made that my Saturday night film. And like 30 minutes into it, I was like, what the hell is Eddie talking about?
My memory, it betrayed me because I was watching it, and that's like a 2 and nearly a half hour film, nearly.
Yeah, so about 2 hours 20.
Yeah, whiz by. Love it.
Not only is it like a good film, it's a great film. It's got everything, right? From the moment it starts to the time it ends, it's got, drama, it's got like action, it's got like comedy, it's got romance, it's got the feel-good factor, it makes you sad, it makes you happy, and then they've got like just all the real cool stuff with all the putting him in like the history films and stuff, right? With the different presidents and things like that. I
remember how cutting edge that was at the time. Some of it is a little ropey now, but still, did a good job. And what is it about that director, man?
Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah, it's just his films have a certain energy, a certain funness to them. I don't know what it is.
He's a true filmmaker, right? You know, like how we always go on about like how Spielberg is the master.
He's more Spielberg than Spielberg, in my opinion.
Zemeckis is like the unsung, like master. People never mention his name. Like his films, like Back to the Future, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Forrest Gump. They are like landmark movies.
Yeah, and they're balanced so well. Yeah. Do I think this film, if it was to be made now, would get a shit ton of criticism? I definitely think it still would.
No.
I would, purely just because of the betrayal of mental illness. Not that it portrays him badly. It actually portrays him as a hell of a hero. But
I was going to say, it doesn't portray. In fact, it makes me look at my life and think, geez, that guy became a millionaire. He went to war. We got to meet the president like 3 times. I haven't even done one of those things.
And he survived war.
Yeah.
Just to think that there might have been people like that for real.
Well, what I really like was the fact that when he joins the military, he goes like, for some reason, he fit in the military really well because like he was very good at following orders. And when the drill sergeant is like, why are you here? And he goes, it's to do whatever you tell me to do.
But I have to, like, maybe breaking film logic here, but you have to think, even in the 70s or 60s, when Vietnam went down, there has to be some sort of cognitive test that you have to pass in order to be considered responsible enough to be able to hold a gun and not shoot your own fucking...
I don't know, because I think for Vietnam, they were drafting people, right? So that means they did not have enough people to fill the roles that they needed.
Very true. But
so... I guess if you could like sign your name, you were good to go, right? Because because you've heard of like all these underhanding tactics that militaries use sometimes to like sign people up.
True. And dude, I forgot the actress was in this, man. The one that plays Jenny, the one from House of Cards.
I did not even realize that until the end of the film because I was like looking up who was who, right? She does not have any of the facial features like in 94 that she has now.
Yes, she does. Still looks the same eye. Robin Rat. Still looks. As soon as I saw her, I'm like, oh, it's Robin. Maybe it helped that I was watching Princess Bride.
Yeah, because she's in that as well. And that also is like, whoa, when you realize it. But yeah, it's
gorgeous. Still a fucking selfish bitch, though. I'm going to say it. Hey, if you want. But she was
there is some
broken
truth.
though.
Yeah, there is some truth to that.
She was damaged very much.
Not only was she selfish, but she was. I'm trying to think of the word. She kind of used Forrest in a way
Yeah,
as well, right?
to make her
As
feel better.
in, to make her not only to make herself feel better, but I think did you when I was watching it this time, I was kind of thinking. I think there were times in this film where she honestly loved Forrest, but probably couldn't deal with like he's mental handicapped.
She loved him, but she wasn't in love with him.
Yeah.
I think it's that situation that she just settled. She knew that life wasn't going to go anywhere else. She was a barmaid in the restaurant at the end, not a waitress or whatever. And he was going to take care of her and her son, and it was.
Well, no, at that point she was ill, right?
Yeah, I
She didn't
get
have
it.
any choice. Yeah, at that
Losing.
point, yeah. But even a bit like before that, when she comes back with it, when he finds her, no, she comes home to him, and they have like time
Yeah,
together.
she
And yeah,
she used Forrest like a battery. Whenever she
yeah,
needed to be recharged
yeah,
with legitimate, pure love and affection, she went
yeah,
to him. And as soon as she was charged up,
yeah,
back out in the world, fuck Forrest and
yeah.
do whatever dumb shit she was doing.
And it's a shame because he was in absolute love with her.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
she was broken. I
yeah,
completely forgot all about the whole stuff of her childhood and the fact that she was abused by her dad and
yeah.
all of that stuff. Had no memory of that at all. So
It's yeah.
yeah,
Like I said, like that film like covers like so many different like subject matters.
yeah.
Even like the fat guy who's sitting on the bench with him, like goes, oh, all this time we're sitting here talking to a millionaire.
And he just pulled out the magazine seconds after he walked away. Oh,
Just
crazy.
some great stuff, like some great casting as well.
Another thing that I completely forgot with Gary Sinise. For some reason,
Yes.
in my head, I thought he killed himself in this film. That the scene where he's fishing with Forrest for the shrimp, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Thank you, Forrest," or whatever.
Yeah.
He gets up out of the wheelchair and then just kind of flops over the edge. For some reason, in my memory, I remember that as just being him killing himself, and then he just never gets seen again. But no,
because I remember the scene where because obviously it ends up good for him, right? Because I just remembered the fact that he turns up with a Filipino bride or a Vietnamese bride or whatever, and the fact that he's got titanium legs.
Yeah, forgot about
so
that
because of Forrest, like his life was good, right? If he had never met Forrest, he would have died in Vietnam, and he would have never have had the opportunity to, even the fact that he lost his legs, live a fulfilling life.
Yeah, twice. Would have died in Vietnam, and then even when he came back, he'd given up life, but then decided to tag with Forrest and do the whole shrimping thing. Yeah.
Just this is a 5 out of 5 film, Eddie.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
No wrong.
I can't even imagine where you got this thing that Forrest Gump doesn't hold up anymore.
I don't know. My memory it betrays me. I can't trust it anymore. I'm getting to that point now. Anything that I remember as a kid.
I did sit down with my dinner on like Saturday night. I was like, as I was putting it on, I was like, oh my God, am I going to be wasting like 2 and a bit hours here? Am I going to struggle through a film that I don't want to watch? But I was enthralled.
I did not want to watch it at first. And then I pressed play and it was like, straight away, boom, loving it.
Yeah.
Loving
From
it.
the off, great film.
And it's good to see Sally Fields again, man. She was everywhere back in the day. Mum.
She was indeed. Yeah.
And Haley Joel Olsen as his son. Dude, that kid pops up all over the place.
Did not recognize that it was him, actually.
Man. So, yeah, great film.
Yeah. What would you rate that then?
5.
It's a 5.
It's a classic.
So that actually is like one of those films that won Best Picture Oscar that truly deserved it. Because if you could watch a movie, I think it's like 26 years ago that film came out, 1994.
Damn, what did it beat though? I remember it beat. There were definitely movies for that year that it.
Okay, hold on. Best Picture, 1994. Let's have a look. Oh, maybe it wasn't 94 then, because 94 was Schindler's List. Hold on, 95. 95 was Forrest Gump. All right, Best Picture 94 nominees. So Four Weddings and a Funeral,
Ah.
The Shawshank Redemption,
Oh,
which I think some people say is the best film
that's-
ever made.
Yeah, that's the one I was
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah.
Quiz Show, which I've never actually watched, but I always wanted to.
Hmm.
And Pulp Fiction.
Oh, that's why my favorite film. That's why that's probably what it was. Over the years, Poison that it beat my favorite film of all time. But again, Shawshank, I'm amazed that didn't get it. Because that has gone on to...
Well, I think Shawshank is one of those films that has just got more revered as time has gone on, right? Yeah, I really need to watch this Quiz Show because the fact that it was up for Best Picture.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, so
right, mini news.
Let's do it.
The live-action Halo series is back in production, and new set photos tease Master Chief's helmet. Ooh, oh yeah.
Yeah. It's not even a full helmet; it's like the mask part. But I completely forgot this was even in the works.
Is this the thing that's been going around over the weekend where they've recast the voice with the original Cortana, or is that something completely different?
Did not hear about that at all.
Yeah. So I didn't know because they kept saying like TV show has been recast with original Cortana voice, and I'm assuming it's the Cortana voice from like the Halo games,
yeah,
or your laptop. Remember at some point where Cortana used to speak to you?
Did they use the same actress to do it?
Yeah, they use the same actress. Yeah.
How did they flop on that Cortana, man? They had a head start and everything. Microsoft, man, it was fucking up. Showtime as well, which I forgot. So,
right.
Yeah, so this could be a legit hard sci-fi.
Yeah.
Cool, I
doubt it's going to be hard sci-fi. I think it's going to be more action orientated.
Oh yeah, but it can be mature and still have its action. Showtime, man. They don't really do.
Oh yeah, no, but there is a difference between mature and hard sci-fi. Hard sci-fi.
Expanse is action, and that's hard sci-fi.
That is hard sci-fi. You are erring on hard sci-fi at that point.
Yeah. Monster Hunter director Paul W.S. Anderson has already written a bloody sequel.
Well, that's what you do nowadays, right? You like as you're while you're sitting in the director's chair, you've probably got like your assistant, like you're probably dictating to them while they're like taking notes. Yeah. In fact, nowadays they probably don't even have to write, right? They probably just get their phone and dictate into it, and it churns out a script.
But the fact that this movie looks as bad as it looks, and this guy thinks he's really going to get a sequel out of this.
But that never stops him.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Paul, if like bad films was like the judgment thing for like whether you got to make a new film, then this guy would never get to make new films.
But don't you think he goes home because he's married to Mila Jovovova, whatever the fuck her name is?
Jovovich.
Yeah, he's married to her. Don't you think she ever goes home or they go home together and she's like, honey, can we please, for once, get someone else to write this and make a good film?
But he probably just like rips open the mattress and says, "Look at the amount of money that we're making here, right? Like, I can't even put this money in the bank because we're making so much of it. I've got to stuff the mattress with it."
Bro, it's true, but because these are all the only films she makes are his films.
I guess like if you're making like that much cash, like the quality of film doesn't matter because essentially what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for the rest of your life. They probably have
a legacy to be proud of.
These guys probably have such an expensive and extravagant lifestyle that they need to keep making shitty films to keep financing it.
How? What are they living on that they need this money now to replace?
Well, imagine like once you get to like that level of like richness, right? Whatever you're doing, you stay in the most fanciest of hotels. Like your pajamas probably cost like $1,000, right? Like the slippers you wear are probably like $500 slippers.
You're ridiculous. She was already rich because she was one of the world's top models for like over a decade or two. Like, jeez, so crazy.
You can never be too rich. Just ask Bezos.
Yeah. Mo, did you watch Mighty Ducks as a kid?
I cannot remember. I know the movie. I've got a feeling I might have. Although I think when Mighty Ducks come out, I might not have been a kid either. I might have been like well into my teens. When did Mighty Ducks come out?
Maybe. You may have been pushing into teens.
I would have been. I think it was like an early 90s thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I would have been well into my teens.
More than one.
Oh, it came out in 92, right? So in 92, I would have been
14, 15. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a perfect age.
I've got a feeling. Yeah, I must have seen this on like at Christmas on TV.
Yeah, it was a fun, feel-good movie of, the coach comes into this loser team and then whips them all into shape and teaches them the rules of sports and love and whatever the fuck, I don't know.
I've got a feeling that this is going to be our next Does It Hold Up?
Should it? Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Remember it? I really don't remember the film much.
I don't really mind like the underdog sports comedy.
Yeah. Let's do that for next week. Right. Mighty Ducks, Does It Hold Up?
It's got a 6.5 at IMDb.
It's pretty positive average, I guess. Emilio Estevez is set to direct an episode because they're doing a new show now on Disney Plus. So he's coming out of hiding, which is nice.
I was going to say, because like I don't think I ever heard of Emilio Estevez after this film. Like, he might have turned up like in Charlie Sheen stuff every now and then. Like I think he was in like, I think he was in a couple of episodes of 24 because his dad was in it, and I think he was in an episode of like 2.5 Men.
I know he was a director for a long time. That's what he's been doing.
Is that what he's been doing?
Hence why he's doing this. But there was a pocket of time when Emilio Estevez was, for the young guys, Charlie Sheen's, was he older brother? Younger?
I don't know if he's older or younger, but I think the headlining news was like these two are brothers.
yeah. But he was the successful brother for a while. Like there was a pocket of time where he was a star. He had the Young Guns movies, which were, I love those fucking films. The Mighty Ducks thing, like, and then he just vanished. Like somewhere in the mid-90s, he just decided that gone, vamoose.
Yeah, because he did do a film with his brother as well, if I recall. I just remember the cover. They're like garbage men called Men at Work.
Men at Work.
And I can't remember if I've ever seen the film.
Shit. Do you think he pissed someone off in Hollywood? Wouldn't play the Hollywood game, and then there's got blackballed, something like that, something behind the scenes. You always hear about these things. You won't sleep with somebody. You don't get blackmailed. It's crazy.
But then, like, but once you get to like a certain level of fame, I don't think those things matter anymore, right? Because you could get blackballed by somebody, but other people will still work with you because you're already that famous.
Depends how powerful, man. But
I mean, it's like, imagine like Charlie Sheen. He must have been blackballed by so many people.
Yeah.
Because he would have turned up at set like coked out of his head, swearing. Ordering hookers to the set, that kind of thing.
Crazy, but I'm actually looking forward to checking out Mighty Ducks now to see if it does hold up.
Yeah.
All right. Mads Mikkelsen, he talks to replace Johnny Depp in the next Fantastic Beasts movie. I
mean, I've not seen these films. I have no idea whether he'd fall into it. But Mads Mikkelsen, he's a great, very good actor.
Great actor. Like, as far as playing the role, I just think it's just disgraceful that, okay, you want to get rid of him, but the fact that it's one rule for him and another rule for Amber is what leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And you heard the petition, that's nearly 1 million signatures to get her off of Aquaman 2.
Yeah, but you got to think, like, 1 million people that signed that petition, I can imagine what goes through that 1 million people's type of mind. Like, have you signed that petition?
No, I haven't.
No, because you don't care about it enough, right?
I don't know, man. She even addressed it, trying to say that it's a paid smear campaign by someone.
by Johnny Depp.
But hypocritical. We'll see what time. Do you think there's a chance that Warner Brothers at some point, or at the very least, will decrease her role from being the co-star?
So I think Kevin Smith did suggest, and again, I don't know if he knows directly what's going on, but on his podcast last week, he was suggesting that her role has been diminished. But Warner Brothers seem to be like in this massive scandal with like this, Amber Heard, The Flash. You don't see that many other studios like embroil the Zack Snyder stuff with Justice League, or rather, should I say, Josh Whedon. But you don't see other studios having this kind of public fallout.
Because I think the problem is Warner Brothers doesn't do anything about besides this Johnny Depp stuff. But even then, they waited until the court case was done over in the UK. Like, they just seem to just let stuff fester rather than take assertion and be like, okay.
Well, I guess this is the only one that has gone to court, right? Like the stuff with like the Flash hasn't.
But we saw footage. That's enough. We saw video footage of him doing what he was accused of doing. That should be enough to say, fuck off.
Well, I guess innocent till proven guilty. Is that not like a staple of the American justice system?
That's it's true. I guess.
Yeah.
Superhero news. Zack Snyder claims he's only shooting 4 to 5 minutes of new footage. 70 million.
Every week there's like news of like new
Casting.
people that they're like shooting.
So we're supposed to believe that his original theatrical cut was over 4 or 5 hours, whatever the fuck this thing's gonna last for. He's such a bullshit artist, man.
Are you sure there's supposed to be a hyphen between the 4 and the 5? It's not like it's 45 minutes worth of new footage.
That sounds more like it.
Yeah. Are they not? Didn't I actually just before we started recording? I started seeing a picture of what's his name? Superman teased in front of like green screen being teased for like the Snyder Cut.
Apparently that was photos from the original shoot.
Right.
That's from the photographer released a bunch of photos from.
Right.
Yeah, this is bollocks, man. 70 million just for effects.
Yeah.
Nah, for just all these people that we've seen, like, so we're led to believe that the Joker was originally in his original theatrical cut.
Building sets, getting people together, getting crews set up just for 4 or 5 minutes worth of shooting. Never.
Bollocks.
But it wouldn't surprise me if like all the new footage only ends up being like 11 minutes or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Like something stupid like that.
Just some fever dream flashes of different things. But Mo, how can they get in contact with us if they wish to do so?
Right, folks, if you want to email us, we are at tatmpodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to tweet at us, we are Talking Movies 3. And if you want to follow us on Instagram, we are Talking at the Movies.
Yes, sir. Don't forget, check out YouTube, Voltron Network. We didn't put up last week's episode of either this or DC versus Marvel because YouTube weren't working last week. And I thought it was my computer or my internet, so I kind of gave up. But apparently it's back up, so yeah, back to normal. So check that out. See our beautiful faces. Give us a like, subscribe, as well as on all podcasting platforms. Show us some love. So from me, the race.
Me, Mo.
See you guys next week. Later.
See you, folks.